Yep, make a text-to-speech for every letter.
If you're done, like both of them, you can just explore Thunkable and try to add like different things to make it cooler. Okay.
Like try exploring different button features. Maybe try switching the color
Yeah.
of the button, stuff like that.
We'll go over it. Yeah.
Whenever I try to add a row or a button, it keeps going on top of all my other buttons.
Okay, so Alman, for now, just delete that row because you don't really need it.
Yeah, okay.
Because remember, the letters just kind of pile up on top of each other. Okay. So, yeah. Again, if you're done, we're just waiting for a couple of other people to finish, then we'll move on. But for now, you can explore Thunkable. Like, there's really, really cool things you can do with Thunkable. You can, like, make really cool games. You can make, like, a calculator. You can do, like, really cool, like, fancy database stuff. And yeah. So just, if you want, just add different blocks to your program and see what they do while we're waiting. Does anyone need help or anything? Yes, no? Okay. So the people that are done, so Willow or Jessica, do you want to share your screen so I can see how you did it?
Can you guys see it?
Yep. Okay. Is it playing a sound for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I'll just trust that it works. Okay,
So guys, when you guys are sharing your screen, right, there's gonna be an option that says allow audio or like share computer audio. Just make sure you guys have that checked as well so we can also hear your project.
EJ, do you want to share your screen so we can see yours?
Okay, sure. Um, Not sure if you guys can hear that.
We can hear it kind of, but yeah. Okay, cool. So as people are finishing up, I'm gonna start teaching some cool like things that you can add to this. Okay, so we're gonna add like cool colors. So we're gonna change your background color. So to do that, you're gonna just click on anywhere in the background. So I'm gonna click on that or double click it. And then you should see something over here that says background color right over here. And you can click any color that you want. So I'm just gonna do I'll do a blue because blue looks cool. And then if you want, you can also upload a picture and do that. It's just that I'm not going to do it because it'll take some time, but you can do that. And then you can also change the colors of your button. So I'm going to click on my button over here. And there's this thing that says background color. So I'm going to choose a different color. I'm going to choose orange. And I'm going to change all of them to different colors. Okay, so now I have 3 different colored buttons, and then I have a really cool background. So the background color is, so you're going to double click on your background over here, and you see where it says background color over here? You're just going to click on that, like on this, where it says RGB or whatever, and then you're going to choose whatever color you want. So gray.
A L M A N N I N N O N I N.
Okay, is everyone almost done? Or how about this? Who is not done? And if you don't say anything, then I'll just move on. Okay, so we'll wait like maybe 2 more minutes. Until then, I'll just show cooler things that you can do. So this is going to be the next thing that we learned about, but you can also add a second screen.
A
So
L M.
right over here, I'm going to click the plus button. Does everyone see that? Yes. So there's a plus button right over here, and now I have a second screen. So now I can move between these 2 screens, and they can be doing different things. So I can have a different set of buttons here if I want. So let me just add different buttons. So now I have those 2 separate screens. One's a blue screen, one's a white screen. And we'll learn about how you can navigate between both of them as people start to finish. Okay. So, what grade are people in? You can type it in the chat if you want. 10, grade 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay, cool. Do you guys like to program? Yes, yes. And has anyone ever programmed before?
We're getting a lot of yeses in the chat.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, Abdullah, or the Innovator team, is made up of high school students. So a lot of us are grade 9s and 10s. Actually, all of us are grade 9 and 10 students. So everyone here from the Innovator team today is a grade 10 student.
It's your first time? That's okay. I hope you have fun though, because coding is really, really fun sometimes. Very rarely. No, I'm joking. It's really fun all the time. You know Python and HTML? Cool. So this is, I don't know if people know this term or whatever, but this is called block-based coding. So it's more like visual and it's easier to do. It's like, there's 2 types of coding. There's block-based and then there's like more like long code, like Python or HTML, which is like these long lines of code that is like written and stuff, or like Java and JavaScript. They're also like that. But this is block-based. So this is for like, if it's your first time, or if you just want to touch up on some skills because you can learn really cool stuff really easily here. And we'll learn about that. Oh, and who is signed up for tomorrow? If you just want to say your name in the chat or whatever. Okay. So tomorrow, for whoever's joining tomorrow, we're going to do a really cool project where you'll use all the cool lessons that we've learned today and you'll use them tomorrow. So is everyone done? Is everyone done? Yeah, okay. So now let's move on to the next part. Let me share my screen. So for the next part, I'm just gonna share different features, and then I'm gonna hope that you guys are all catching up, and then we'll move on to the next kind of assignment or project. So now we have buttons, but let's say we want to add a cool title. Like over here, I made this title that says "Make my phone talk." So to do that, there's this button over here that says Label. Does everyone see that? So you just click on it, drag it to the top of your screen or wherever you want it. And now it's right over here. And to edit it, you can just click where it says text, and you can write whatever you want. So, hello. And you can change the font size. So if you want it to be 30, you want it to be, I don't know, maybe white, you can do that. Yes. Okay, so this is a title that you can add to your project to make it look cool. So those two blocks are basically the basics of everything. So now we're going to do some more advanced stuff. So the next project that we're going to do is we're going to use variables. So if everyone can delete all their blocks. So to do that, you just click on your block over here, and you should see that garbage can over here, and you just click on it, and then you just say delete. Just delete all of your blocks so we can move on to the next part. Okay? So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to learn about variables. So I'll just wait for everyone to delete everything, and then we can move on. So for variables, what we're going to do is just drag onto the screen 2 buttons. And we're going to make a really easy basic score machine. Okay, so click on the top button, and in the text, I want you to just write the plus sign. And on the second button, you're just going to write the minus sign. And then just let me know when you've done that.
For the blocks,
Yep.
they weren't, the code in it wasn't deleted. So what do we do with those? How do we delete them?
Oh, yes. So for the code, so in the code section, you're just going to click on it, drag it to this garbage can over here, if you can see that. And then when you're over it, it'll open up, and you just let go, and then it'll delete. Yep?
Yeah.
Okay. So, does everyone have those 2 buttons on their screen, the plus and the minus?
Yep.
Yep, okay. So, we're going to go to the blocks section now, and we are going to learn about variables. So, does anyone know what a variable is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Can someone explain it to me? Maybe they know?
You guys can just put your answers in the chat.
So yeah, it's something where you can store information in. So what I like to think about, when I think about variables, I think about a briefcase. So imagine you have this briefcase or this box, and let's say we have these pencils. So every time you add a pencil to the box count will move by 1. So if I add 3 pencils to the box, what would be the count on the box? If I add 3 pencils. 3, yes. I'm not sharing my screen right now, I'm just talking. So if I added maybe like 12 pencils to the box, what would be the value of the box? 12. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. I'll just show you how you like start using the variable. So whenever we use variables, we always want to initialize it. So that means we just want to say what the name of the variable is before we do anything. So if you see over here, there's this category that's called variables. So if you can click on that, and then we see this top.
When do we select?
The variables category.
No, for the code, do we?
Oh yeah, so I'm saying that. So, do you see the first block where it says initialize variable name? So you're just going to drag that onto your screen. Okay, and we want to name it something. So to name it, we're going to go to this text category over here. It's like that magenta color. And we're just going to grab that first block, which is just 2 like sets of quotation marks. And we're going to drag it to right over here. And then we're going to like click on that empty space over here, and we're going to call it score. So if someone can just let me know when they're done that. Done? Okay. So now we are going to program the buttons. So we have this variable called score, but now we want to see if the buttons will work. So we're going to go click on our first button, which for me is button 2, but it may be something else for you. It's whatever the plus button is.
Ali, right before you move on, one of the students asked, how do we get this?
How do we get this? What do you mean? Like, how do we get the buttons, or how do we get the variable?
The block.
The block? Oh, okay. So I'll show you again. So if you go to the variable section over here, do you see this? It's that like orange color. You're just going to click on it. And then the first block, which says initialize variable name to, and then there's a blank. You're just going to drag that onto your screen over here. And then we need to name it something. So we're going to go to text, which is this. It's the 4th category. And you see those 2 sets of quotation marks. And then there's that blank in between. You're just going to drag that over here. And you just want it to kind of fill in that little empty square over there. Or a triangle, sorry. And then we're going to click on the blank space. And then we're going to call it score. So SCORE. You have that? No, the variable isn't an invisible block. Well, it's a coding block. So technically, all of these blocks are invisible. Like you can't see it on your screen. But they're just called coding blocks. Okay?
So the reason you guys can't see these blocks is it's because it's like you're programming something called the back end. Right? So what you guys are doing with the buttons is your front end.
Yeah. So this is more of what you'll see on your phone. But for your phone, like for those buttons to work, there needs to be something that like tells the computer what to do or tells the phone what to do. So that's what all of these blocks are. Okay? Okay, so now we are gonna click. So find out what the plus button is named. So for me, it's called button 2. So I'm going to go back to my blocks section, and I'm going to click on button 2. And then you should see the first block over here, which is when button 2 is clicked, do this. So I'm just going to drag that onto the screen. And then I'm going to go back to the variables section. And then you should see this, like this button over here that says change variable, and then you can fill in the name by 1. And I'm just going to drag that inside this orange area. And for it to actually work, I need to name it the same thing I named this. And then I'm going to go back to the variables section. And then you should see this, like this button over here that says change variable, and then you can fill in the name by 1. And I'm just going to drag that inside this orange area. And for it to actually work, I need to name it the same thing I named this. So when you're doing this, you want the minus block. So I'm going to go to button 1 when button 1 is clicked. And then I'm going to go back to the variable section, change the variable name by 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, instead of calling it name, I'm going to call it score. So the same thing that this was called. And instead of 1, I'm going to change it by -1 because we want it to go down, right?
Yes.
So is everyone okay? Is everyone up until this point?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So, Yash, what happened?
Where did you get the variable?
Okay, so for the variable, let me just share my screen. So there is this variable section over here. Do you see that? This orange section?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna click on that. Do you have you initialized the variable yet?
Yeah. I was confused on which one to pick for the buttons.
Oh, so it's whatever buttons you have over here. So like for the plus button, you want it to go up by 1, right? So whatever the plus button is called. So for me, it's called button 2. You can see it over here. So I'm gonna have the plus button move up by 1, and then the minus button it moves down by 1.
So because right now we only have 2 buttons, that's why we're leaving them as button 1 and button 2. But eventually, if you guys start to get a lot more buttons, you guys can just rename your button to be plus button, minus button, whatever the case is.
Yep, and I'll show you how to rename it afterwards. Let's just get the actual program done. So do you get it, Yash?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So theoretically, this should add 1 to our variable and subtract 1 to our variable, right? So let's try it out. So the buttons work, but the buttons aren't actually doing anything, right? Well, maybe they are, but we can't really see it. So we want to be able to display the number that's in that variable onto our screen. So does anybody have like an idea of what block we would use for that? You can make a guess if you don't know.
Someone said score.
There's no score block. We just want something to display text. So it's almost like a title.
Yeah, so out of all the components on the left, like which one do you guys think you're going to use for this? So someone said a label.
Yeah, it's a label.
What?
So I'm just going to drag my label wherever I want. I want it on top of my screen, so like here. And then I'm going to go back to my blocks section. And then for the label, we see that there are now new blocks for the label. So I'm going to click on that. So label 1. And then there's this green block that says from label 1, set the text to whatever. So I'm going to drag that in my button 2 is clicked button. And then I'm just going to go back to text. Or sorry, no, not to text. I'm just going to change where it says label to score. Oh, sorry, wait. Has everyone found this green block?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so to show what's in the variable, we need to find a variable button. So we're going to go to the variable section. And does everyone see where it says at variable and then name?
Someone hasn't found the block for, the green block. Someone's
Okay.
asking.
With the actual code.
Yeah, so for the green block, we're going to go to label 1. And then it should say from label 1, set text to, and you just want to put that inside of your when button is clicked. Do you have that? Arya? Yeah, okay. So back to what I was saying, we can't just type in score over here because it won't know that that's the variable. So we're going to go back to the variable section. And if you can see, there's in the very bottom, there's something that says app variable, then name. So that'll show whatever's inside that variable. So we're just going to drag that and put it right over here to connect to the green block. And then we're just going to change the name to score. Everyone see that? Yep. Yes.
Someone said, wait, so Darth, what's up? Where did you get
The variable block?
Yeah, probably the app. Yeah, the app variable with the score.
Yeah. So we go to the variables section again. And in the very bottom, there's something that says app variable name. Do you see that?
Yep, they got it.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're just going to drag it on.
variable, but when I press plus or minus, it doesn't change it for some reason.
So minus shouldn't work because we've only worked on plus, but plus should work. So it'll change it to 1, 2,
Yeah.
3,
For
4.
me, it's stuck on 0.
Okay, so share your screen and let's see if any of your, I guess, classmates can help solve it with you. So just share your screen.
Is anyone else having like the same issue? If you are, just type it in the chat so we can figure out what's going on.
What's wrong? I don't get it.
Okay,
It's so your second code where it says when button 2 is clicked should be when button 1.
Oh, okay, I get it. I
So
forgot to change that.
whichever one is the plus should be +1, and then whichever one is minus should be -1. Make sure they're not the same.
otherwise they'll kind of
Yeah.
cancel each other out.
Yeah. So Siddharth said theirs says mine says score instead. Yours after, so we can help you figure out that as well.
But so for finding the problem, let's have a like everyone else, they can give their opinion and see what's wrong so that you can understand. Okay? Okay. Mahad, do you want to click on your blocks? Okay. So, Oman, do you know what the problem may be?
Button 1 and button 2, the same one I had.
Yeah,
Is it
it's the
both
same
button one?
problem that you had. It
And
should be.
the second, and the bottom button one doesn't have the label thing.
Yeah, we didn't add that yet, but you can add it if you want.
Okay.
So do you get the problem, Mahad? You need to change one of the buttons because they both say button 1. So to do that, you just click on where it says button 1 and you can change it to button 2.
Just make sure it's the right button. So make sure button 2 is your plus button, okay?
Yeah.
So if you go back to design and then click on like either the plus button or the minus button. So you click on the plus.
Yeah, so your plus button is button 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other problem may be is because your background is black, the label is kind of like it's the label, like the text color for the label is black. So maybe try to change your background color. And now just try the program. So see, it works now. Okay. And then, Siddharth, do you want to share your screen too? Okay, so let's go to your block section and let's see what's wrong. So just first you have to click edit and then blocks. Okay. Remember when I said that whenever you okay. So whenever you're using the variable, you always want it to be the same name. So that way the machine knows what it's looking for. Okay, good job. So now if you guys want to do the same thing for your minus button, you can do that. And then you should have a plus and minus button. So
Also,
I'll wait.
since we're midway through the workshop, just let us know, like, do you guys think this pace is okay? Do you guys want us to go a little bit faster? Do you guys want us to slow down a little?
Yep. And then we'll also take like a 5-minute break just so that you guys can drink water or use the washroom if you want. We can take that now. So if you guys want to drink water or something, you can go do that. Just be back by 1 o'clock. Or sorry, 2 o'clock. Okay, so Arya, do you want to share your screen? Because usually when it says undefined, that means you made a mistake somewhere. It could have been just that, like the name of the variable you messed up somewhere. So just share your screen. Okay. Do you want to go back to your blocks? Okay. So, you remember what I said
change
about
to
the
score.
Yeah, so what Siddharth said. You need to make sure that all the names for everything is the same. Okay, now it should work, but only the plus button will work because you haven't programmed the minus button yet. Okay. Okay. So we'll meet back at 1 o'clock and then
2 o'clock.
or sorry, 2 o'clock. Sorry, my laptop clock is not working. So
Also, I know some of the people joined late, so if you guys have questions, like, everyone's free to go on break right now. Just be back in like the next 5-ish minutes, and then we'll get started. But if you missed part of the workshop, or if you have any questions, like, feel free to stay back and we can help you.
okay, so for the people that are still here, what do you think of the workshop so far? Are you guys having fun?
I think it's really good, as
It's
it shows
good?
an easy way to design your own app.
Yeah. So after this, does anybody know what image recognizing is or like
No.
no? Okay, so it's basically when you take a photo, the computer will tell you what's actually in that photo. It'll identify like everything. So like if I took a photo of myself, it'll say boy taking selfie or something like that. So we're going to work on that next. So that's a little bit harder, but if everyone's having fun and if everyone's okay right now, then we'll move on to that. Okay? So at 1 o'clock. Okay, 1 o'clock.
I guess for those of you who are still here, maybe type your favorite like video game or thing to do in kind of like our lockdown right now. What's your favorite thing to do? Read. Ooh, favorite book, I guess. Rubik's Cube, sports, read books, play with my cat, and play video games. Cool. Play Valorant and painting. Yeah, my friends really like Valorant. I'm not a big fan. I like Minecraft. Minecraft's easy. Just play for a few hours. Yeah, Minecraft's free. Or is that?
Minecraft Education is.
Yeah. Because if you're part of like the Peel District School Board and you use like that account, you guys get Minecraft Education for free. So if you want to get it on your computer, like go get it. It's a lot of fun. Read and play a few games, learning how to solve more cubes. Hamza, what types of cubes do you know how to solve already? I mean,
2x2, 3x3. I'm learning 4x4 and 5x5.
cool.
And I also know how to solve the pyramids.
Oh, you know how to solve the pyramids too. I had a pyramids and I would never be able to solve it, so I had to get my friends to solve it for me. So now it's just like it's still messed up. Like I need to learn how to do it.
Pyramids is most easiest for me. It's like
Really?
it's like 10. It's for me like under 10 seconds you can solve it.
Okay, if
Right.
everyone wants to come back, we can now start again because the break should be over now.
Yeah, I think everyone's. If you guys are back, let's just wait for a few seconds and then I think you can show your code to everyone. Also, if you guys are back, like just type in here so we know that people are actually back.
I'm not actually. If you want to show your screen now, you can do that and just show whoever's here.
Cool.
Whoa. Oh, you did something. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's video.
That's really cool. Do you want to share your code with everyone so we can see how you did it? Yeah. So these are using sounds. We weren't gonna do that, but we can learn. It's really close to the text to speech thing that we learned about, but it's just a different block. So if everyone is back, we can start now with, we'll just add something else to this code that we have, then we'll move on to the image recognition thing. Okay? So I'm just gonna share my screen.
So Medacer, yeah, just like how Scratch uses like block-based coding, so does Thunkable. So you'll see that like a lot of the pieces are kind of similar.
Okay. So you guys have these two buttons, and by now, I hope that you coded the second button too, but if not, then just do that quickly. Just wanted to change to -1. So what we're going to do right now is that we wanted to have a limitation. We don't want it to go to negative numbers. Like right now, if I keep on clicking the minus button, it'll go to -1 and -2. So we are going to create, like, it's called an if statement that'll stop us from going to -1 and -2. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So this part is a little harder, but we can do it together. So we're going to go to, we are going to go to control. And then if you, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, we're not going to go to control. We're going to go to screen 1. So you should see this block that says when screen 1 starts, do this. So I just want you to drag that onto your screen. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So you're going to drag that onto the screen, and we are going to now use a new block. So if you can go to control, you should see this block that says if and do. So what it's going to ask a question, and if the answer is true, it'll do something. So we're going to drag that inside of our when screen 1 starts. Okay? Yes, no, maybe, no.
Yep.
Yep.
I think
Okay.
they're getting this whole, yeah.
Okay, so now we are going to go to the logic section. So the logic section, it's part of this if or something. It's always going to ask a question. So if something is equal to something, you'll do this. If something is less than something, you'll do this. If something's greater than something, you'll do this. So we're going to use the greater than button. So if everyone can just grab that over here and just line it up with this triangle space.
Ali, can you just like kind of hover your mouse over where the screen 1 blocks are?
Oh yeah, so they are in the controls, sorry, not the control section. They are in the screen 1 section, and you should see when screen 1 starts, do this, okay? Okay, once we have this, we wanted to ask the question that if whatever value is in like our variable is, I guess, less than 0, we want it to move back up to 0. So does anybody know how we may do that or what we may ask over here?
Like if something is greater than 0, we if something is less than 0, we stop right there.
So we don't stop, we'll just move back up to 0. So yeah, so we're going to go to the math section. And does everyone see this block that just says 0? We're going to grab that and we're going to put it in the first section right over here, in this like little square over here. And then what do you think we'll put in the other square?
Variable?
Yeah, we're going to put our variable. So just how we got this variable of like this block over here for app variable score, we're going to get that again. So we go to variables and it's the last block. And we're just going to put it in that little square and make sure that it's the same name. So we want it to always be score. Okay. So if this is true, we want it to move back up to 0. So we're going to go back to the label section. Is everyone good so far?
Yes.
Where do you get the number again? The 0. Where do you get the 0?
So the 0 is in the math section. It's the very first block. Right over here. Okay, so once we do this, we actually want to change what's in the variable. So we're going to go to variables. And does everybody see this block over here that says set variable and then whatever name to? We're going to drag that over here. And we're just going to change name to score. And we're going to go back to the math section and we're going to change this value to 0. So we're going to take that where it says 0 and we're just going to put that into the square block. So that'll change the score value to 0. Is everyone here?
Yeah, we're getting guesses.
Yep. Okay. Now we want to be able to display the 0. So what block could we use for that? We've used it before.
Someone said label.
Yeah, so it's the same label block that we use over here. So I'm going to go to label and then from label set text to, and then we're just going to change it to score. Or sorry, not score. We're going to grab this, the variable score button. So over here, and we change it to score. And now if you try your program, it shouldn't allow you to go under 1, or there may be an issue and we will fix it together. If you see your code, it actually won't work. It'll go to -1, but, oh wait, sorry, 1 second.
For me, it goes past -1.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, same.
It's because it should be less than or equal to, Ali.
Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm just stupid. Okay. So we're gonna change. So we're gonna click on where it says less than, and does everyone see that little like the arrow, and then there's the line underneath? That's the last option. That means less than or equal to 0.
Isn't that greater than for 0?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, greater than or equal to 0. I'm sorry. My battery just like was it like my computer was about to shut down, so a little bit jumbled up. But yeah, so it's greater than or equal to.
When I do mine, I see score.
Okay. You know what? We are going to move past this and we will not do this. But if you are here tomorrow, we'll go over this again. Okay? Sorry, everyone. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. So now if you guys want to go back to the home screen and then open up a new project, we can move on to the next part. So you're just going to click create a new app again.
How do you go to the home screen?
Sorry?
How do you go to the home screen?
Home screen. So right over here, you're going to click on where it says Thunkable. And then it will take you back to here. And you're just going to click on create a new app. And then we're going to call this photo. And we're just going to click on create. Does everyone have this? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So this project is 2 parts. So the first part is actually taking the photo, and then the second part is identifying the photo. So the very first. So what do you think we may need for taking the photo? Like what blocks? There's 1 block that we've already learned about that we'll need, and then there's 2 blocks that we'll learn about. So what's 1 block we need? How are we going to be able to actually take the photo? What do we have to press?
Web viewer.
Sorry?
Button.
Web viewer.
Not web viewer. So the button block that we've been using, we're going to drag that onto the screen, and that's going to be what actually takes the photo. Okay? And then the next part is a new thing that we're learning about. Sorry?
Is it camera?
Yeah, it's camera. So camera is going to be able to use the camera on your laptop or phone or whatever to actually take the picture. So we're going to drag the camera onto the screen. And it's an invisible component. So just how the speech to text was, you can't actually see it on the screen. And then the next block is the image block. So we're going to just drag that onto our screen. And now whatever photo you take, we want it to appear in the image block. So let me know when everyone has these 3 blocks.
So he'll, I guess just wait and try refreshing it. Maybe check out your internet, see what's going on.
Or maybe try a new browser if you have one, because it sometimes doesn't work on Google Chrome.
Is the image an invisible block or no?
No, it should show up on the screen. Like, do you see this giant purple box with the mouse in it? It's that. Okay,
Also,
so
there's a question. Can you go over how you did the camera and image, please?
yeah, okay, so I'm gonna delete the camera. And I'll delete the image. Do you have the button already?
Mahad, do you have the button? Yeah, they have the button.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go down, 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 and then there should be a whole section about images. So do you see where it says camera? We're gonna just drag that onto the screen, and it'll show up as an invisible component. So we learned about that, right? Like they're not actually on the screen, but they do work outside of the screen. So we have the camera over here, and then we're gonna drag where it says image, we're gonna drag that onto the screen, and that'll be what actually shows up onto the screen. Okay? Mahad, do you have that? Okay. If everyone has that, now we can go on to the actual technical part of this. So we're gonna go to blocks and make sure, so we're gonna go to camera, And does everyone see where it says in camera call take photo?
Yeah.
Drag that onto your screen. And then we also want it to be for when the button is pressed, you want to take that photo. So we're going to go to the button section and we're going to drag when button is clicked. And we are just going to put it over everything like that. Let me know when everyone has this.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so now what's going to happen is the camera will take the photo and then 3 things will be outputted. So the actual photo itself over here, if the user canceled the photo, which you can do, and then if there was an error. Okay? Out of these 3 things, which one do you think we want to display?
Photo.
Photo.
The photo, yeah. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go to our image blocks. So on image 1, just click on that.
Hamza says they're not done that yet.
Okay, so we'll wait for you. Also, just a tip, for whatever blocks you add from now, you want to make sure that it's inside of this purple block now, okay? For the next block that we're about to add.
Okay.
So we'll wait for Hamza. Okay, so Hale, did you try using a different browser? Okay,
Edge.
I guess so. Hill, for right now, just try to follow along, maybe.
yeah,
And if you want, like, we can help you out later.
okay.
Write things down, maybe, to help you.
So now we should have these 2 blocks. The next block that we need is in the image category. So click on the image right over here. And it's this first green block that you see that says from image 1, set the picture to, and then there's a blank. So we're just going to drag that and make sure that it's inside of your purple block over here. Okay? And then now that we have this, what do we want to show again? The photo, the error, or if the user cancels it? The photo, right? So we're just going to drag where it says photo, we're going to drag that and put that in our little empty space over here. Okay, and once we have that, you guys can try it out. If you have a camera, you can try it out. If not, then it's okay, because then after we're done the full thing, then I'll show you how to put it on your phone or your mobile device.
From the computer.
Do you have a camera on your computer?
Yeah.
Mine
Yeah,
worked.
then you can try it out.
Mine worked.
It works? Yeah, so it should just be the photo. And you can keep on doing it. Just keep on clicking that button. Okay. Is anyone's not working yet?
Yeah, I can't see the image being displayed, or have we not gotten to that part yet?
No, we have. Do you want to share your screen? And maybe one
Sure.
of your classmates can help you.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Yeah, it just doesn't display the image.
Okay, can you show me your code? Okay, so there's one little thing that you forgot. Can anyone maybe help him out?
You have to put the photo on the little light blue thing.
Yeah, so do you see where it says photo? No, so it's already there on your screen. It's right above did user cancel an error. Yeah, so you're just gonna drag that and put that in your empty square. On the empty square, yeah, like that. And then now it should work. It'll show the picture that was taken from the camera.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay. Is anyone else's not working yet? Okay. So the next part, I hope we have enough time to finish this, but we may not. But the next part is actually recognizing what's in the image. And it's really, really cool to do. So if we go back to our design section over here, and we go to, it's near the bottom, it's in the image category, we see this block that says image recognizer. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna drag it onto our screen, and then it's like the camera, it's an invisible component. So we don't actually see it on the screen, but we can play with it and it'll do stuff in the background. So now that we have that, we're gonna go to blocks. And then we're gonna click image recognizer. So the first purple block is what you wanna grab, and you wanna put it right underneath where it says from image 1 set picture 2. Okay, this part's, it's a little complicated, so if you need help, just say something, and I'll try to go as slow as possible. So what it's going to do is that it's going to ask you to upload an image or use one of these the photo that you just took, and then it'll come out with 4 outputs. So the tags, descriptions, confidence level, and error. So how image recognizing works is that there are these categories of photos, which are called tags, and so if there's a combination of a certain tags, it'll come up with a certain description. And with each description, there's a different confidence level. So whichever one has the highest confidence level, that's what we'll show. And then everyone knows what error means, right?
Yep.
So what we're gonna do right now is where it says photo up here in the very first purple block, we're just gonna drag that over here. And then we have our image recognizer. But there's one thing that we're missing, and I want someone to tell me what it is. Think about it. How are we going to display what's like the description? It's not just going to show up on the screen. We need to add something for that.
Label.
Yeah. So we are going to drag a label. You can put it wherever you want on the screen. Right over here. And we're going to go back to blocks. And then we click label. And from label, set text to. And we're going to grab where it says description because we want it to describe as much as possible. And we're going to put that in like our little box over here. And then you can try it out. But remember that it may not be very accurate because the technology that's used for this is still really, really new. But it should be somewhat accurate. So here. I'm going to take a photo.
Yeah, can you slow down the last step? I didn't really know what to do with the label.
Okay, yeah. So it's just like what we've been doing. So have you already added the label over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then we go to blocks. Then we grab from the label section, we grab the first green block that says from label set text to. And we're just going to put that in our little purple open area over here. Then we're going to grab where it says description over here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
We're going to grab that and put that in this empty space over here.
When I took a picture, everything just disappeared.
Do you want to share your screen? Is it working for anyone?
Yeah, so Mahad
Yeah,
said,
sure.
Yeah, it worked.
Amrita said, I was drinking water, and says a person holding a Wii remote.
Yeah, so it may not be like extremely exact, but it kind of has that idea. Like it can tell who a person is.
Like over here.
Okay.
Take
Photo. Okay, so that means that there's a problem somewhere in your code. So let's go click edit. And then go to blocks. Okay, so it's a really tiny thing. Does anybody know what the problem is? And maybe you can help Oman?
It has to go inside. the other-
Yeah. So Alman, that second purple block, it has to go underneath the green block that's inside. No. So do you see the big purple block, the second one that you have?
Yeah.
Drag that underneath the green block. Underneath, yeah, right there.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Try it
It's
now.
a little complicated, but yeah, and it should work now.
So the reason you wanted to make sure it's under the green block is because it says then do something, and so because the purple block is an action, that's why you need to put it under there.
Boy taking a selfie in a room. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So the reason it works like that is because your computer, it follows a process when you're coding, right? And if you don't follow that process, it'll start doing really weird things. Okay. So I hope that everyone had lots of fun. And yeah, the class is over now. And if everyone's works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for coming, and I hope. Oh yes. So for whoever is coming tomorrow, try to come up with a problem and a solution related to animals in your community, because we're gonna do a giant project together. Okay.
Okay.